is we all, fans, so people that really like Superman and critics alike both agree on one thing, that this feels like a literal superhero cartoon. Some take that positive, some take that negative, depending on the tone and which version of DC you like. And there's so many versions of DC. And there's two very popular animated DC superhero shows that are consistently referenced. And without spoilers, I will tell you, this, is Superman. So the majority of people, if you did a poll, I probably think like 75% people would say either they liked it or they didn't like Superman. It's very comic booky. I know we're going to get sick of hearing that. Very much like a superhero animated series. But what I want to ask you is the two most popular, there's other ones, there's other Superman and Justice League cartoons, but the two most popular are that I could think of are there's like Legion of Doom, or I forget some of the other off ones, but the two most popular referenced are Super Friends and Justice League International. Justice League International came out after Batman, the animated series, and Bruce Timm was behind it. And I will say this, without getting into spoilers, I will say that I believe, thank you, Cheeseman, that Superman is more Super Friends than Justice League or Justice League International. And some people might be like, heck yeah. And I ultimately think that James Gunn is just grew up with Super Friends as well. And I enjoy Super Friends for what it is. But my jam is Justice League and Justice League International that came out after Batman the Animated Series and Superman the Animated Series. I think it was superior. I think it had more epic storytelling. And that's what I would prefer, my personal preference. And I will make it a poll, Cal, but I think most in the chat haven't seen it yet. So I think that's where we're going, and it might succeed with the younger generations, because honestly, it's sad to say, like, Justice League and Justice League International animated series was generations ago too. It was a different generation. So maybe it's comes back around, and that would be better with these younger generations that are really active on social media. Some of these animated series that are extremely popular right now, or Minecraft, it's just not for me, but it might work. But I think that's where we're going. And I don't think that it's going to be epic, multi-arc, like Game of Thrones level or Lord of the Rings level with Justice League. I think it's going to be more like an episode of the Super Friends, where Luthor and the Legion of Doom have a plan and it's over in one movie. Episodic instead of big, huge arcs, which I actually watched Angry Joe. I don't really like Angry Joe's show anymore. But I watched his review, and I was getting angry because I agreed with everything he said. I'm like, I don't really like you anymore. But I'm like, he gave the exact same score, 6 out of 10, as I did. And he said, it's like an animated show, but not the cool episodes. And I kind of agree with that. I think it's like the one episodes that aren't like super epic, and it's just like a self-contained episode, and tune in next week for Super Friends. And people might like that. And if you like my friend Joe, he's like, not everything has to connect. Some things are just, I love building extra stuff, big epicness. I love all that. That's my preference. Some people like the episode of the week and move on. See you next week, Super Friends. Same bat time, same bat channel, same Superman, Super Friends channel. And get superhero, super friends with cereal, that type of thing. I'm not trying to diminish it. People like that, enjoy that, and that's great. I like the big epic arc storylines that the stakes couldn't be higher. And Superman is so powerful, Meanwhile, in the Hall of Justice, thank you, the Looney Gamer. Yes, meanwhile, in the Hall of Justice, that's what you're going to be getting. Let me see. Those shows came out in the 90s. Probably the majority of viewers were born at least in 2000. Yeah. David Cushmore, $4.99. Will they do Superman versus Alien? They have it in the comic books, but I'm not sure if it's going to make it that film or not. Thank you, David Cushmore, for the super chat. I don't know. I don't think they're afraid of doing that. They're not. He's not afraid of doing a lot of things. And I've criticized this particular project, not that it's disrespectful to Superman, but it's more of a platform for the Justice Gang than Superman. I think I'm more intrigued to what's going to happen with the Justice Gang members than what's going to happen to Superman next, honestly. And I think those characters are going to thrive more in James Gunn's DC than Superman himself. Superman's going to be in it. He's going to have some great moments, but it's not as focused as on Superman like the last version, like Zack Snyder's, where you had Doomsday did too much Superman to the point where Batman v Superman, you have Doomsday in it, and the Justice League movie is getting Superman back, the rebirth of Superman, So some people might be sick of that. I wasn't, but I understand, All right, let me see. And let me put up a poll here, if I can. Or Super Friends or Justice League International. And I actually liked the Justice League show more before it went international, where it was. And I think another way to say this thing is James Gunn's version of the Justice League, whether it's called they tried the Justice Society and Black Adam. They had the Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League, or there's other versions, Justice League International, Justice Gang. What are you going to get in James Gunn's DC? I think whereas Zack Snyder did the A-Team, the Justice League A-Team, the mains, the bigs, James Gunn is going to have the bigs within the universe, but it'll focus on the other characters like Batman, but Batman, the Brave and the Bold characters will get a bigger focus in the Justice League International, and Batman might be in the Justice Tower or something, giving orders, So I think James Gunn's version of the Justice League is going to be Justice League B team or C team in the mains and the bigs, whereas in the last version of DC was the Justice League A team. And I'm not just trying to diminish the B team and the C team, because those could be really appealing characters. I wanted the A team to thrive first before you bring in all these other factors, other characters. And Henry Cavill would not. I don't think he would have done good with this version of the Justice League, because once Cavill's there, you want to see Cavill all the time. Where Corn Sweat, he's off to the side sometimes. He's sidelined for certain storylines. I'm not saying every time, Okay, let me see how the poll is going. Cal says, now that Soups is out of the way, are you hyped for Fantastic Four? I'm starting to get there. It looks a little bit better. I'm still not like through the moon on it, honestly. Oh, I forgot to make it live. Wait, what was it? Justice League. Oh, Anthony's here. Hey, Anthony, how's it going?
What's up?
It was not called Justice League.
Shit, why your mic is messed up?
My mic's messed up.
Okay, now it's good. You was low as hell.
Okay, let me see. Your audio is kind of okay. Now my mic's fine. Justice League Unlimited.
I haven't seen the movie, so
no, I'm not spoiling it. I just feel like that's where we're going. I really don't think it's going to be World's Finest anymore. I think that's what James Gunn's working on. I don't know if they're going to call it the Justice Gang or Justice League International, but I really feel that's
it's probably going to be. It's probably going to be international. Makes sense.
Justice League International, yeah.
Yeah,
and I mean, even while speculating, even giving a big clue is our pal Joe, Crazy Joe. He said this is when he was talking about Guy Gardner. He brought up the Justice League International with Guy Gardner on there. Yep. And without spoilers, one of the big things in this movie is, and you've seen in the trailers, is Guy Gardner saying Justice Gang, Justice Gang, Justice Gang. If there's any self-insert for James Gunn in this movie, it's not Superman. Guy Gardner is James Gunn's self-insert.
Yeah.
The way he delivers quippy lines, that's totally James Gunn's humor.
He's annoying. Guy's an annoying person, so yeah, obviously.
Yeah, so
he's probably the one that come up with the name for sure.
Yeah, that's totally. And are you going to be okay with that if that's where they go, Anthony? Is that something you want to see? I mean, this isn't confirmed, but is that where would you like this to go that way? The more B team characters, the A team characters are within the universe.
James say that they characters are common, so
yeah, they're going to be in the universe. But like I would have the last version, the Snyderverse, the Hamadaverse, it was more focused on the mains, the bigs, you know. So I would have preferred a fleshed out story with the bigs first.
Yeah.
Before you get to the B and C team characters, you know.